each Evil Dead film has changed, has become a different bird. Evil Dead 3 is a really strange, off-the-wall movie, even though it's a big kind of epic. And hopefully I think that'll get away from pigeonholing. I think people will be confused as to what I do. I've confused my agent, I think, now. He says, well, what, you know, agents love to hear this. What do you think that you are? I said, I'm a phony actor. I'm no different than any, I say lines or I'll shoot a gun if I have to, whatever. He says, but what do you see yourself doing? I said, I see myself acting. Well, acting in what exactly? Well, in movies. The funny thing is that you got to convince your agent as well as everybody else. But so I look at it this way: we can always go raise money and make movies, and I can play strange doctors and scumbags and regular people. With Evil Dead 2, when that came out, they wanted to make it look like it was a funny horror film. We thought, oh, fellas, please don't do that. If they find something oddly funny about it, that's great. But don't make them think it's a comedy, because we're going to get kids in there who are 4 years old and they're not going to understand what they're seeing. Marketing is a funky thing, because they want to get anybody they can into the theater. And I think we're sort of responsible as filmmakers to do our best we can to not mislead anybody. But I think Sam just kind of monitors. He's like a quality control. You know, if he gets bored, then he'll step in, because he considers himself the ultimate film goer. He says he'll talk during takes. He'll just talk. He'll turn the camera on and just walk away, basically, and we'll do a couple of takes, and I'll go, okay, now, you know, do it this way. And it's interesting, when the camera's rolling, everybody's on and they're up. Sometimes he'll keep the camera rolling to keep you awake. Because when you say cut, everyone goes, oh, okay, fine, they have a cigarette, they get a cup of coffee, and they all walk away. What Sam will do is he'll keep the camera rolling and go back to one. And you'll go back to the first position, and everybody's going, oh, they're looking for their props, and he throws curveballs to everybody. And it's good, because on a long shoot, you can get lethargic and lazy, and you know, you want to sit around in your chair and tell stories all the time. We got into the horror business because we thought, gee whiz, we're taking these people, we're taking their money. We have to get them their money back. What will make their money back? And at the time we thought, well, horror movies, that's it. And we thought, well, if we're going to make a horror movie, let's not fool around. Let's really give them a blood and guts and give it to them right in the face. But they've always had a weird sort of aspect to them, and so we've been slowly kind of injecting horror into them. And so now we're going to try and extract the horror out of them and try making just a comedy. It's this grand sweeping, I call it an epic because Sam has a really good vision, and he has a way of taking not that much money and making it look like more. And this is a good chance. It has very ridiculous slapstick sequences in it. It has romance. Ash, the character Ash, gets a girl for about a half an hour. And then you know what has to happen to them. And he leads armies and all kinds of things. So it gets beyond that woman screaming from the monster sort of role, which is good. I'm basically a loudmouth, ugly tourist in 1300 England. I'm the ugly American tourist. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm on vacation now. You know, it became a life work. After 100 days, it's as though I've never made any other film. You know, it was just that. That's what I do. I felt like I was on a television show. I mean, and not like that. It was not mundane or repetitious like that. It just felt like that's what I do for my life, as I play Ash. But it was okay. Everybody held up pretty well. Evil Dead 3, a.k.a. Army of Darkness, has a very odd look to it. So the combination of the effects, I think, will work pretty well. It's not, you have no realistic basis from which to judge it. The movie's in a weird world anyway, so if the effects look at all slightly different, it's okay. Movies are weird. You can either be very happy that you worked hard and you see it up on the screen and if something works, you can be satisfied for a long time. But if you just slough through it and sleepwalk your way through it, then you're tormented for the rest of your life, because you'll always see that film, and it'll come back and haunt you horribly.
And cut it right there.
This week.
Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty.
Kevin is a big benefit to this production. His character has taken on this guy who's very trustworthy. What happens is, by having a character like that, you like that guy, and because Kevin's sort of like that, the two blend together, and I think people watching the show will think that that's just the way he is. And the good news is he kind of is. Not only can get involved in action, but he's smart. He's a smart hero, too.